What's up viewers, Eric from Beatsonic. Today we have here a 2014 Lexus IF Sports. We're going to be installing a video and navigation in motion and also an iPhone mirroring system. So very exciting time about to come. Let's go ahead, get inside the car and get started. Now that we're in the car, the first thing we want to do is remove this shift knob. First, do so by grabbing a hold of this leather boot on the bottom and just push downwards. And then turn the shift knob counterclockwise. Okay, put it aside in a safe location. Be careful not to scratch it. Okay, secondly, you want to remove this panel over here on the right and also on the left. So you're going to do so by grabbing a hold of a panel removal tool and carefully just grab the bottom and then push it up. All right, that's removed, and then let's go ahead and remove the one on the driver's side. Comes off very easily. Okay, next, get a hold of either an 8mm socket or a Phillips screwdriver, and you're gonna remove this and this screw, both. Okay, once you remove this, go ahead and just keep it in a safe place so you don't lose it. And we're also gonna do it the same top and the bottom on the other side as well. Okay, once we remove the two screws up in here, we're gonna wanna remove this whole big silver piece by getting a hold of this panel from up here and just gently pulling it outwards. And do it the same for the driver's side as well. Alright, the next step is go to the driver's side and locate this screw over here. You could either use an 8mm socket or a Phillips screwdriver, and we are going to unscrew and remove that. Okay, once again, make sure you don't lose this. Put it aside in a safe area and go to the next step. For our next step, we are going to want to remove this piece over here from your center console. So first, raise your armrest and grab a hold of this from here, from the back, and just pull up. Okay. There's going to be a connector over here you're going to want to remove. Okay, in our next step, we are going to remove this whole middle piece over here, but before we do that, we want to change your shift to neutral so that the shift boot is facing up. In order to do that, just go ahead and just stick your finger behind this panel. You'll feel like a little switch. Go ahead and push it down. While you're holding it down, put your shifter down to around here, around neutral. And once you have that set, go ahead and grab a hold of this and carefully just pull up. Alright, and carefully disconnect the connectors on the bottom. For our next step, grab a hold of your 10mm socket wrench, and you will be removing 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, and also 4th on the driver's side. So go ahead and do it now. Okay, for our next step, we're going to remove this whole radio out towards us. Before we do that, grab a hold of a blanket, bigger the better. Just cover this area here so you don't scratch it up, and gently just bring this whole assembly outward. Once the head unit is removed, just take note of all the connectors that we'll be working on. We're going to be working on this big one over here. We're going to work on a GPS connector and one of the smaller connectors here. So let's go ahead and prepare our iPhone mirroring and our video and navigation and motion controller and show you how everything is connected. What you see is everything you need to achieve the video, navigation and motion, and also the iPhone mirroring. So most of the parts here is what's included in the IF-04EP kit. And over here we have 3 cables. We have HDMI, lightning to HDMI converter. We have a lightning extension cable, and also a standard iPhone charger cable over here, which was all purchased from Amazon. Or on this side over here is what comes with our Beatsonic kit. So let me go ahead and start to connect everything. So this is kind of by itself. It's not going to be connected to any of these. This is the, once again, DVD and navigation motion controller. I'm going to put it to the side. And over here, let's start off with this. This is the HDMI to AV converter. So we're going to first grab a hold of these RCA joint connectors and just connect them on every single RCA connectors that you see for the video, the audio left and right. And once you have that connected, we're gonna connect it to the HDMI to AV converter. And then once that is done, we are gonna connect this USB charger. So this is the USB for power to power up this HDMI to RCA converter, and this of course will be connected to one of the ports of the USB on this USB charger. Okay, and at the other end we have this HDMI male to male joint connector. We're going to connect it on the other side of the HDMI to AV converter, and then from this we're going to connect it to the Lightning to HDMI converter that we purchased from Amazon. Alright. Okay, next we're going to get the Lightning extension cable and connect it onto the other side of this Lightning to HDMI converter. And this Lightning to HDMI converter also needs to be powered so that when you connect this to your phone, that your phone is also charging while mirroring your phone to the factory screen. Alright, so connect that and connect the other side of USB to the USB charger. And then once that is done, on the other side of this USB charger, you'll see that negative terminal and also for power. So for this one, you're gonna have to ground this using the negative terminal to the side of the bracket and just bolt it on there. And then the other side, we're gonna splice, or we're gonna tap for accessory wire to our NDS6223EP connector. So go ahead and locate the 12-pin connector, which is this. Now 12-pin connector, locate the pin number 11, which is gonna be this red wire over here. So grab a hold of the red wire, and then we are gonna tap it for power. So this is called pulsey tap. Use the one other end, just slide it over the wire like this, and then on the other side you are just gonna turn. Okay, once it's on like that, you will want to confirm to make sure it did pierce through, and it surely did. So keeping it in the same position, you're gonna screw it back on. Alright, make sure it's nice and tight. For other versions, you will have an actual plug and play connector that connects to this, so that you don't have to tap into another wire for power and use a ground terminal. So everything's gonna be plug and play for the other version. Alright, and then the insulation tape. This is used to cover up these RCA connectors over here. So you're gonna wanna cut a piece out and wrap it around like this. And then the other end, you are gonna wanna wrap it around this piece after we get inside the car for this connection. Alright, so now that we have everything connected, let's go back in the car and connect it to the vehicle. Now that we're back in the car, let's go ahead and jump into all the connectors we're going to be working on. So we'll start off with this big one over here. It's a little clip. I'm going to push it up, and while pressing up, you're going to push this whole plastic clip up, and you'll see that the whole connector is removed. And once you remove it, go ahead and remove this clip. Okay, and you'll find that there are 3 connectors that are connected together, and you will remove the one all the way to the right. And in place, grab a hold of our navigation and DVD in motion controller, and out of this you are going to connect in place our connector, and the connector that was on there before, you will connect it with the other side of our connector. Alright, and once that's done, grab a hold of your clip one more time, slip it in to the combination of the new 3 connectors using our video and navigation in motion. Slip it on, and then slip it in place and confirm with the clip. Alright, the next connector you want to work on is this connector right here. So simply just grab a hold of the connector, pull it out, and daisy chain it to the other part of our video and navigation and motion controller. Okay, and then on the last part of our video navigation and motion controller, you'll find that there's this GPS connector. It's all the way in the bottom left corner. Remove it. Once again, daisy chain. Alright, so once that is all connected, just organize, make sure things don't get tangled up too much. Okay, and once that's all organized, we'll have to organize all this again later on. We will work on the other connectors. Okay, another connector that we have here is for our video input. This is our AVC38 connector, and you also find that this is will connect via daisy chain onto this connector over here. So go ahead, press down the clip, pull, then once again daisy chain to our connector like that. The very last connector is going to be the negative terminal right here. Use one of the side ones over here. We're just gonna use this. So loosen it just enough to slip this ring terminal to from the side, and then go ahead and tighten it back. Okay, depending on the kit you get, you might have a plug-and-play harness where this step is not required. Okay, next we want to route the lightning extension cable to the side around here. In order to do that, just gently remove this panel over here. It's just being held by clips. Okay, and you'll find that there's a lot of room to route some wires. We are going to route it through this area right here. So very, very simple. Grab that, put the panel back in. Alright, and just go ahead and just leave the wires over here so you could freely just make the adjustments. Alright, going back to behind the radio, grab a hold of your lightning to HDMI converter and connect it to the lightning extension cable. Alright, so all these adapters and modules gonna have to be fitted behind the radio. So go ahead and just organize it and take some time and make sure you fit everything in nicely back here. And note that there's some room behind this climate control which you could kind of tuck up there as well. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. Okay, now that everything is fitted back in, go ahead and confirm to make sure that everything works. And once everything works, just reverse order and reinstall your panels.
Proceed about 4/10 of a mile to Beach Boulevard.